Okay. Okay. All right.
All right, good. Well, I guess lesson's over. You know everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try a little bit more difficult problem now. All right. So let's say the mass is 40 grams and the density is 200 grams per milliliter. What is the volume?
The volume.
Yes.
Okay, that one is good. That one's good. You should, for example, for that, you should just be able to just, like, I know the answer. It's 5.
5 what?
5 grams milliliters.
Volume is in milliliters. So it would be
So
best.
5G, so 5 ml. 5 ml.
Okay, so your answer is 5 ml. Okay, how did you come up with that?
Because you should just be able to just divide. Just keep on dividing.
Divide what?
Divide 40 and 200, and then you can give just 5.
Okay, but what is the formula for density?
D equals M divided by V.
Okay. Am I giving you V?
Like, yeah.
I am. Where's the volume?
I
Which
mean,
one is
no,
the volume?
there's no volume. You should,
Okay.
like, you should just be able to just find out the division. Just like divide the mass and the D, just like that.
Something. I mean, it is something. So we got to do it correctly though. Which of the 3 letters are you given in the problem? What does 40 represent?
The 40 represents mass.
Okay. So what does the 200 represent?
The D.
Okay. How do you get a variable out of the bottom? You remember that? We were doing this a little bit last time.
Yeah, you should just be able to just find out the division.
Well, it's currently being divided. So how do you undo division?
How to undo division?
Yes.
Multiplication. So you have to multiply 4 times 200.
You have to multiply both sides by V to get the variable out of the bottom.
40 times 5.
Okay. Are you following what I'm,
Yeah,
we've got to get the
I got
variable.
the answer.
Okay.
It's 5.
The answer is not 5.
Then 40 times 200.
While that may be true, 40 times 5 is 200. That is not the answer. So do you want to follow along or do you just want to make up your own math?
No, I want to follow along. I want to follow along.
Okay. So when you multiply both sides by V, it goes away. On the left, it's 200 times V equals 40. How do you get V by itself? How do you undo this 200?
How do you undo? Subtract.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow what you just said here. 200 V minus 200 equals 40 minus 200. Is that what you think will work?
Yeah.
Okay. What is 40 minus 200?
40 minus 200.
Yes.
160.
Negative 160. Okay. So you
Yeah.
got 200 V minus 200 on the left. Okay. So we need to get V by itself. Notice you just had one number on the left and now you've got 2. So it's more complicated, but let's keep going here. Do you undo multiplication or subtraction first?
I will try multiplication, I would say.
Nope. You have to undo subtraction. How do you undo subtraction?
dividing.
You undo subtraction with division. Okay, what would you like to divide by?
Okay, 200 and 160.
I'm not sure, sir. You're going off in some strange directions. We're talking about order of operations. You undo multiplication with division.
Yeah,
You undo subtraction.
yes, it's addition.
Addition.
Because you said no, that's why.
Okay, well, would you undo subtraction by 200?
Addition,
And what would you add?
160.
Okay, you want to add 160 to both sides.
You know,
All right,
no, 40.
let's do this. 200 V, what's minus 200 plus 160?
Minus 200, minus 360.
No, minus 200 plus 160.
Okay. Okay, let me just do this. Negative 40.
Okay. Now our goal is to get V by itself. So how can we get V by itself? Should we undo multiplication or subtraction? And it's order of operations when you're going back the other direction. You undo addition and subtraction before multiplication and division. So which should we undo first? Subtraction by 40 or divide by 200?
Subtract by 40 or divide by 200.
Yeah, should we undo the subtraction by 40 by adding 40? Or can we divide by 200? Do you get rid of addition and subtraction first or multiplication and division?
Okay. I think you should just be able just to. Add 200.
Okay, we'll add 200. Let's do it.
And
Add
there you go.
200.
That's the
All right.
answer is.
200 V plus 160 equals 200.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
that what V equals?
Yes.
No, V is not by itself.
Okay.
Everything we've just done for the last 5 minutes is completely wrong. Okay.
Oh my
Let's-
God, it's
let's-
4. Oh, what?
Let's go back to the starting equation here. Let's try it one more time. 200 V equals 40. What is the math operation between 200 and V?
200 V. I don't know.
Okay, well, do you see this symbol? Is this symbol between the 200 and V? Because that's addition.
Okay.
Do you see an addition over here?
There's an over there. No, you should
Okay.
just
Do
divide.
you see subtraction?
No,
Okay. Do you see multiplication?
multiplication. No.
So sometimes there's no dot because they're squeezed together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
So these two are squeezed together. So what is the math operation between them?
The math operation between them.
Yes.
Okay, that is gonna be division.
Okay, what will you divide both sides by?
40.
Okay, we'll divide both sides by 40.
Uh-huh. That's
40
5.
divided by 40 is 1. 200 divided by 40 is 5. 5V is V by itself.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's got a 5 next to it.
Then what do you want me to supposed to do? This is okay.
I don't know. I mean, we've done these for 2 years. There's multiplication by 5. You look at the side with the variable. Side with the
No,
variable.
yeah, but that's the correct answer. 5 is.
If the answer is not 5,
Oh my God.
5 is multiplying v.
Yeah,
How do you undo multiplication by 5?
divide
By what
5.
number? Yes. Yes. Okay, so
Oh,
v is equal to 1/5. Is the v alone? Is the only thing on one side of the equation v?
yeah,
All right, so now it's solved.
finally.
So this took way too long to do. Okay, so we've got to be able to more quickly solve some of these equations. So let's say it's 10 equals 2 divided by x. Okay, this is kind of how we started the last problem. How do you get the variable out of the bottom? What did we do in the last problem to get the variable out of the bottom? What did I have in red on this side and this side?
The red, that's a
Yes,
volume.
and we're multiplying it.
Mhm.
Okay, so to get a variable out of the bottom, what do you multiply by in this case? What should you multiply both sides of the equation by?
10. 2 times 10.
You multiply by the variable.
Yeah,
What is the variable in this problem?
the variable.
Which letter is the variable?
Which letter is the variable?
There's only one
X.
letter. Yes, x. So to get the variable out of the bottom, can you read what's written here or tell
Multiply
me
by the
what I,
variable.
yes. So on the left, it becomes 10x equals 2. What number is multiplying x on the left?
What number is multiplying x on the left? Nothing. You should just divide.
You should divide. You should divide by the number that's multiplying x. What number is
Yeah,
multiplying x?
number is multiplying x. 10.
What 10? So you divide by the same number. What number should you divide by?
10.
Okay. X equals 0.2 or 1/5. Let's try another one here.
Okay.
14 equals 4 divided by x. How do you solve for x?
How do you solve for x? How do you solve for x? Just, uh, just, how do you solve for x? First of all, you should just divide by,
All right,
14.
I'm gonna ask you to write this problem down and send me a picture that you've written this down because the problem I just gave you is exactly like this. So please write this down.
Yeah.
And you can show it on camera or you can take a picture and send it to me, but I got to see that you've written this down because I don't think you're writing anything down right now.
I am writing.
Okay. Then send me a picture of what you've written down for this problem. Or jump on camera and you can show me that way.
Well, I did write it down. Why do you want me to show it to you?
Because you don't know how to do this problem and it's
I
exactly
know
the
how to
same.
do that problem. I'll show it to you. I will tell you.
Okay. Give me the correct answer.
Yeah.
And I want to see your work as well. So
What?
yeah,
Okay, got it.
Wait, what is your answer?
0.28.
I'm sorry?
0.28.
Okay, how about as a fraction?
That's a fraction. There's no
Yes,
fraction.
there is. You just used a calculator, or used something online that doesn't do it for you with the work. Okay, Sarah, so should I let Dad know now or at the end that you're not really interested in doing a lesson today?
Well, I'm interested in doing a lesson. I just got the answer, but I forgot to get the fraction. It's because I just did not. It's because there's not even enough room for me to be doing it.
All right, we're just gonna take a minute here. I'm gonna message your dad and let him know that the lesson's not going very well, and see if he can come in and
Dad,
help.
hold on.
Sounds
Dad,
good.
okay, hold on. But before you do that, I'll give you the answer. Please.
I think we're past that, sir. So
No,
we
I
can
want to
we
get
can
the
just
answer. I'm going to be
we
getting the answer, and I'll
we
show it to
we
you.
we can take a minute. It's okay. All right. So do you want to work here for the next 20 minutes?
Yeah. Did you not text anything to my dad?
All right, so let's get back going here.
Yeah, I will be just doing it. I'll show it to you.
All right. You don't have to be on camera here for the lesson. So okay, let's try another problem here. All right, so here is a density problem. Okay. What is the formula for density, Sourish? And then we'll read this.
Yeah.
What is
The
the
formula
formula
for
for
D
yes, what is
equals
the
M divided by V.
all right, so as we read this, you're looking for D, M, or V. A chef fills a
50 is
50
M.
mil.
43.5 is V.
Okay, let's read it a little slower here. A
Fills
chef
a
fills a
50.
milliliter container with 43.5 grams of cooking oil. So the mass is generally in grams. The volume is in milliliters. Okay, so what is the value of M?
What's the value of M?
Yes,
The value of M, the value of M is mass.
I know which of the two given numbers is the mass, the milliliters or the grams?
The 43.5.
Okay, 43.5 grams.
And
What's the volume?
the volume, that's 50.
Okay, 50 milliliters. Want you to go to the calculator and divide and give me the full answer, as many decimal places as it gives you.
That's 0.87.
0.87, and the units are grams per milliliter.
Yep.
Okay, very good. Now, we're going to look at a new problem here. All right, so you guys have been doing a lot of volumes. Do you remember the name of this shape here?
The
3D
name of the
solid.
shape,
Yeah, what's the name of that 3D solid?
name of the three. That's right there. The 3D solid right there. That's a rectangular prism.
It's a rectangular prism. Very good. Could you calculate the area or the volume of the prism?
The volume of the prism. Calculate the area to the volume of the prism.
Yes, what's the volume of the prism?
Yeah, the volume of the prism. Okay, I'll do that.
You
I'll
need
do that. I'll do
do you
that. I
need a
got that.
form?
I got that.
Do you need a formula?
Yeah.
You do need a formula, or do you do not need a formula?
No, no formula. You just multiply. The real answer, the final answer is 2.7.
I want the volume, Sarge. Just the volume.
That's 1,000.
1000, and what are the units?
1000 cubic squared.
Centimeters cubed, good. And then is this number the mass or the density?
Mass or the density.
Yes.
Okay, bring the mass. That the mass or the density. That right there, the density. That's the grams. That's a 2.7.
Is 2700 the mass or the density?
That's the mass.
It is the mass.
Mhm. That's right.
Yep, that's right. So 2700 grams is the mass. So that's 2.7 grams per centimeter cube.
Yeah.
All right. So why is it that you're able to work these problems out so quickly? And then the previous
Well, it's
problems,
because I did it at school. I did it at school, and I was just following the rules.
I think the answer is that you actually know how to do the work, but you don't want to do the work with me. You would rather do something else during our lessons. So
It's
this
because I
proves to
finished the
me,
work. That's what I did.
well, this proves to me you can do it. And so I don't understand why we're having so much trouble with stuff like this and stuff like this previous problems. It seems like you're just not interested in doing the assignments
No,
with me.
it's just because I was the reason why it's because I was just deeply trying to remember the formula. I was just thinking the formula so hard.
Right. So let's look at a new problem to solve here. Okay. We're going to look at the side with X. Okay.
Mhm.
Side with X here. Get the snip. Didn't quite get it. So the side with X, tell me what you see. What does this symbol right here mean that I'm
The
pointing
symbol
at?
right there.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's the division bar.
Division by 3. How do
Yeah,
you
the
undo
fraction bar.
division? How do you undo division?
Under division, you should just multiply.
Okay, so you multiply both sides by 3.
Yep. And
What
that's
does that?
12.
That's 12. Let's try another one here. 12 equals X divided by 2. How do you solve this?
I use all this 12 and right there, you should just be able to just do the same thing at the previous problem. Just multiply 2 times 12.
Okay, what's the final
That's
answer?
24.
That is 24. Very good.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's look at some new problems here. All right. Calculate the mass of a liquid with a density of 2.5 grams per milliliter and a volume of 15 milliliters. Can you give me the formula for density one more time? Sourish, please give me the
Yeah.
formula for density.
Yep, the formula for density D equals M divided by V.
Okay,
That right there, the M is 2.5 and 2.5 and the V is 15.
the V is definitely 15 because it says volume.
Mhm.
Where does it say mass is in this equation, or does it say something else? Does it maybe give you the density?
Yep, and the mass is right here, 2.5 G ml.
Well, then it would say the mass is 2.5 grams, but it doesn't. It says a different word. What's the word here?
Density.
Okay, so are they giving you mass or are they giving you density?
Mass, or are they giving you density? Mass, or are they giving you density? That's they're giving you density. The mass. They're trying to give you the mass.
Okay, on the right here, it says volume of.
Yeah,
Volume is 15
you're
milliliters,
trying to get the final answer, which is the mass final answer.
right? And I keep asking you the same question. I'm not getting the right
That's the
answer.
density. 2.5 G is density.
Okay, so 2.5 equals M divided by 15. How do you solve this for M?
How do you solve that for M?
Yes.
How do you solve it for M? That's gonna be good. What you need to do is just, you have to divide.
What did we do in these two problems, sir?
You should just multiply. Two
Okay,
point five times 15.
okay, what is the final answer, please?
Yep,
What is the final answer for mass with the correct units?
37.5 grams milliliters.
Milliliters is for volume. What units?
Grams grams ml.
Let's go back and look. Mass is in grams.
Yeah,
Mass is in grams. Mass is in grams.
and that's
Mass is in grams.
it's just grams.
It's just grams. It is just grams.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find a couple more problems like this. Okay, here is a new problem. No words, just the variables. All right, I'd like you to set that up and solve it on your own, please.
Okay.
And I'm only grading your correct answer here, so it's either a yes or a no. And if we get to 3 X's, that's bad. So let's get it right the first time, okay?
Mm-hmm. $300 grams.
300 grams is correct. Good, really good. Okay, so let's look at, we've solved this kind of problem a couple of times here. 3 equals 6 divided by X. So notice the variables on the bottom now. How do you get the variable out of the bottom?
How do you get the variable out of the bottom?
What am I doing here? What did I show in red?
Yep. Okay. That right there. You should, for example, for that, you should just be able to just like, multiply.
Multiply by the variable. Do you remember us
Yep.
writing it down earlier?
Yeah. Multiply the variable means it's 18.
What is 18?
6 times 3.
There's no 3 next to a 6. It's separated by an equal sign. There's an X times a 3 and a 6 times an X divided by X.
Yep.
Okay, can you just tell me what you see on the screen?
Yeah, I see a 3. I saw it, x times 3.
What is that?
Yeah. The 3 that's 3.
What does this middle thing mean
The
in
equal
math terms?
sign.
Okay,
That's a 6. You should
okay,
divide
okay, so now let's do this again. What is
3
this?
times
Okay,
6. I
are
know
these the
what that
same?
means.
Are these the same?
No, they are different.
They're very different. So why are you telling me 3 times 6? Because there is no 3
Because
and no
that's what
6.
we did in the previous problems, because we have to multiply, because that's what we do.
This is not like the previous problem.
Then we
Where's the
should just
variable?
divide.
Where's the variable in this problem?
The variable is at the bottom,
Where's the variable in this problem?
at the top.
Is that the same?
No, it's different.
No, so we need a different approach. You're
Mhm.
gonna start driving. Is it the same to drive a car with a standard transmission or automatic transmission? Are they the same?
They're different.
They're very
The X
different,
on the
right?
bottom, right there. Yeah, you should just know that that is like you should just the X down there. That's just a multiplication.
Right here, we're multiplying by the variable to get it out of the bottom.
Yeah.
So the variable cancels. Gone,
Mhm.
gone. On the left, this becomes 3 times x, or 3x equals 6. How do you undo the 3 in front of the x?
Yeah. For example, you should just be able to just both
What do you divide both sides
divide
by?
both sides by or divide both sides by 3.
Okay, good answer.
That's going to be able
So
to make
x
it
is
the
equal
2x.
to,
X equals 2.
good. Okay, do you have this down in your notes? Because I'm going to give you another one like it.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm only going to grade the final answer. All right. 15 equals 25 divided by,
Yep. That's what I know is that you should just
you're allowed to ask questions. I mean, I want you to get this right, but I'm also asking you to do the same thing we did in the previous problem.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
You have any questions for me on how to
Yep, the
solve this?
1.66.
I want it as a fraction.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting to that.
It doesn't have to be the reduced fraction. It just has to be the fraction.
5.3.
Okay. How did you do that? How did you get 5 divided by 3? Tell me your steps.
Well, you should just be able to divide the dividing fractions like equivalent. It needs to be equivalent.
Nope, that's not how you did it.
It
Unless
needs
you
to
went
be
to
like
the,
divisible. Like you have to divide both sides. You have to divide both sides by 3. I mean, no, 5.
okay, like this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back and look at the previous problem. And if this isn't like what we did in the previous problem, you're gonna have to explain to your dad why you said you wrote this down in your notes, multiplying
Yeah.
by the variable, and now you're telling me dividing by a number.
Yes, because I told you 25 and 25 over 15. You have to divide both sides by 5. Like for example, 25 divided by 5 is 5, and 15 divided by 5 is 3.
Sourish, that's not what we did in the previous problem. We didn't do that. We did something totally different.
Yeah,
What did we do in this problem? What's written in red here?
multiply by the variable.
Variable. And did we divide by a number? No.
No,
So why are you doing this? This is not right. No,
I'm telling you is that we divide 25 divided by 15.
that's not what we did in the problem. Let's read it one more time. Multiply by the variable. What should you do in your problem?
You should just undo
You
multiplication.
should multiply by the variable.
Yeah,
Say it. I'm going to multiply by the variable.
multiply by the variable.
Yes. What is the variable in this problem, Sourish?
X.
X. We're going to multiply both sides by X.
But how come in that different in the previous problem, why is it not like this? Why is it division?
Because in the previous problem, the variable was in the top. And then this problem, the variable's in the bottom. And it's like driving a car with a standard transmission versus an automatic transmission. You have to do it different ways. You
Okay.
can park a car, by pulling in, backing in, parallel parking, right?
Yeah.
There are different rules for different situations. So, all right, let's go ahead and stop right here for today. Let me know if your dad is around for some feedback.